You're listening to Passages, a podcast about great quotes, life, and the wisdom of the Bible. And now your hosts, Drew Kaiser, Jason Pulliam, and Tim Layton.
We shall meet.
I'm kind of getting tired of playing this song.
You know, at some point we may have to find a different one. And not tonight we're not just missing one. We're missing two.
Well, we added to the number, and now we're down 50%.
I know.
So I guess you look at the glasses half full. We have more people to fill in whenever people are gone. But
I definitely linger to caress them both, as this song says.
I miss them. I miss them bad.
You know, without our producer extraordinaire, it's back to the two of us to try to fly through this thing. Probably going to be some heavy editing done on this one.
Yeah, I have to work a lot harder when Patrick's not here. Plus, who's going to look up all the facts? He's an expert fact checker.
That's true. If you're expecting facts tonight, you may be at the wrong place.
You will be sorely disappointed. You know, we never intended for this to be a political podcast, and it's not. I even think when we talk about politics and talk about the news, it's not from a political point of view. I'd like to think we're not doing that.
No.
Most of the time.
We're just reporting what the world is telling us.
And finding the funnier elements of things and highlighting those.
And there are some pretty funny things that happen in politics and are really happening over the last, 6 months?
Yeah. How about 6 days?
It's been a wild,
the news is
week.
Fun again.
It is. You know, we went from a situation where you had very little access to the president. The media was maybe got 2 questions with him as he wandered around the White House. And now we have a guy that I think they said in his first sit down with the media answered 77 questions, I think is what I read.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah. You said the word access, and that's kind of one of the things I want to bring up. We live in a crazy world today where celebrities, politicians, world leaders, successful business executives, anybody and everybody is communicating through these social media platforms like X.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a dust-up between Trump and Colombia's President Petro. I believe that's how you say Gustavo Petro. Colombia, Colombia was going to...
Colombia was refusing.
They're refusing to receive
the repatriation flights where we were sending Colombians back to Colombia, and by we, not Drew and I, but the Department of Homeland Security is sending them back. And Colombia said, "No, you cannot land your planes here. We will not accept our own people back."
And he was going to hit them with a tariff, and the tariff was going to affect coffee exports and flowers, because apparently we get a lot of coffee and flowers from Colombia.
And Trump was also going to kick out all of their diplomats out of the U.S. and bring the U.S. diplomats home from Colombia.
And he was doing this while playing golf. And apparently in 90 minutes, we went from Colombia not receiving their prisoners that they needed to receive, repatriated prisoners, went from that to sending planes to get them.
Yeah. The president finally said, "I'll just send my own plane if we need it." So.
Yeah. And it was a humiliating experience for Petro. And he made it worse. So what I want to read, and this is kind of old news by now, a lot of our listeners have already heard it, but I thought I got to go over this with the guys on the podcast, because this is just one of the weirdest messages I've ever seen from a head of state. Remember, this is the president of a country.
Yeah.
A fairly large country in Latin America. So he just addresses Trump directly on X, and here's the statement.
And I've not seen this, so this is great.
You haven't heard this?
No.
Trump, I don't really like traveling to the U.S. It's a bit boring, but I confess that there are things worth noting. I like going to the black neighborhoods in Washington, where I once witnessed an entire fight in the U.S. Capitol between black and Latino people with barricades. Why did he like that?
When did that
He
happen?
said it's boring, but I once witnessed a fight in Washington, so I like that. He goes on, I thought it was nonsense because they should unite. So that's all over the place. And then he says, I confess that I like Walt Whitman, Paul Simon, Noam Chomsky, and Miller. Which Miller? Henry Miller?
David Miller.
Miller Lite?
Mayor Miller of Leeds, Alabama. That's who he was talking about.
Yeah.
That's probably
David
who he was talking. David
Yeah,
Miller.
of
That
course.
David Miller. Yeah.
Why didn't I think of that? Of course
Yeah.
he's talking about the mayor of Leeds.
I mean, he brought us Buc-ee's. He's bringing us the Grand River housing development.
Yes.
New sports park. What's not to like about it?
He's an inspiration to the president of Colombia. Right up there with Whitman and Paul Simon.
Well, if you like Paul Simon, I may be stepping on toes here, but I'm not a big Paul Simon. Are you a Paul Simon fan?
I love Paul Simon.
Really?
What don't you like?
Him, his music.
But
Pretty much
you
sums it
said on the podcast that you like Simon and Garfunkel.
Well, when he got rid of Garfunkel, it was just Simon, not so good.
You like Art Garfunkel.
I like the combination of the two. It's kind of like if you take away chocolate syrup from ice cream's just not as good.
So you don't like me and Julio down by the schoolyard?
No.
How can you not like that song?
Well, Julio was sent back to Colombia, I think.
Okay. Yeah, we need to get back on topic because I'm not done with this message. There's
Okay,
more.
sorry. I'll stop
He says,
interjecting my thoughts.
I confess that Sacco and Vanzetti, I don't know who those are, who have my blood, are memorable in U.S. history, and I follow them. They were executed as worker leaders in the electric chair by fascists who are present in the U.S. just as they are in my country. I don't like their oil, Trump. It will destroy humanity because of greed. Perhaps someday with a glass of whiskey, which I accept despite my gastritis, we can talk frankly about this. But it's difficult because you consider me an inferior race, which I am not, nor is any Colombian. So if you know anyone stubborn, that's me, period. You may try with your economic power and arrogance to stage a coup like you did with Allende. That's some U.S.-backed coup against the Chilean president, Allende, in 1973. He says, but I die by my own laws. I resisted torture, and I resist you. I don't want slaveholders next to Colombia. We've had many, and we freed ourselves. What I want next to Colombia are lovers of freedom. If you can't join me, I'll go elsewhere. Colombia is the heart of the world, and you didn't understand it. This is the land of yellow butterflies, of the beauty of Remedios, but also of Colonel Aureliano Buendia.
Gesundheit.
Have you read that book, 100 Years of Solitude?
No.
It's a good read.
I've not read
It's good.
that one.
That's the main character in there. I butchered his name.
Rolled all right off the tongue.
I confess, I didn't know how long this was when I started reading. You will kill me, he says, but I will survive in my town, which is before yours in the Americas. We are peoples of the winds, the mountains, the Caribbean Sea, and freedom. You don't like our freedom, fine. I don't shake hands with white slaveholders. I shake hands with the libertarian whites, heirs of Lincoln, and with the black and white peasant boys from the U.S., before whose graves I wept and prayed in a battlefield, which I reached after walking the mountains of Tuscany, Italy, and after saving myself from COVID. It's just, you don't know what's coming in the next sentence.
What's he talking? And this was all because we were sending Colombian citizens on a free plane ride to Colombia.
Oh, I can't read the rest of this.
When I say we, I don't mean Drew and I mean the Department of Homeland Security, ICE, Customs Enforcement, etc. Because I haven't sent anyone anywhere.
It ends, and I've skipped like maybe about 600 words here. I'm informed that you impose a 50% tariff on our human labor product to enter the U.S. I'll do the same. Let our people sow maize, which was discovered in Colombia, and feed the world. That's a translation. Maybe some was lost in translation.
Didn't Twitter used to have a word limit?
Used to.
It needs
that is
to
no
now.
longer the case.
You know, he could have said
he would have
all of
benefited
that.
from that.
Yeah, it would have saved a lot of rambling. But I mean, it's just the two of us tonight. We did need to stretch a little bit so that we could, you know.
I could stretch this out by reading the rest of this.
No, please. I've
heard it's one of those things where I listened to a lot of stuff and I heard the first part of it and I thought that's really really wild message to send to a president of most powerful country in the world. I'll read that. And I think I'd heard through the Paul Simon part.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was several pages long. But what a weird guy.
Yeah, it's strange. He was
It's weird. He's
little all
talking
over the
tough
place.
now, but he backed down so
He
quickly.
cowered. And
And will let me ask you this. Will tariffs work? I mean, Trump says they're a good bargaining tool and he uses them bargaining. He's been talking a lot about McKinley. President McKinley apparently
the
used
late
tariffs a lot.
1800s, yeah.
But will people pay 25% more for coffee and flowers?
But here's the thing. So let's say you go to Colombia and you say, Colombia, you have great coffee, but you've made me angry. We shall now charge you a 50% tariff. Well, Colombia says, okay, I'm not paying your tariff. And then we go to any of the other South American countries Peru, for instance, wonderful coffee in Peru, wonderful coffee in Brazil.
Some of our members are about to go to Guatemala, another great source of coffee.
So a lot of these other nations say, you know what? Colombia's not selling them coffee. Let's get into a competition to see who fills the coffee thing, and prices come down.
There's such a demand, though. There's such a demand, and Colombia supplies so much of that it'll produce a shortage.
But is it that big of a demand?
I think so. I think if the tariffs don't make it more expensive, the shortage, by eliminating Colombia from your suppliers, the shortage will create.
See, some of what I've read said that there's plenty of other places to get it, and that we really wouldn't see a big price fluctuation.
Well, I'll believe it when I see it, because coffee has already skyrocketed in price.
Well, everything has skyrocketed in price,
and it's growing in popularity. I mean, they're putting another coffee shop in Trussville.
Really?
I don't know how it can sustain so many coffee shops.
So here, just in this little area, what I like to refer to as the Leeds Moody Metroplex, we've got 7 Brew,
and
Starbucks, Dunkin'. There's a Dunkin' Donuts.
If you call that coffee place.
I don't drink coffee there.
It's a donut shop.
All mine come out of these little plastic pods. I'm not exactly sure what kind of plants grow those pods, but the way they get the foil to stay on the top that really took a lot of cultivating to figure that out, I think.
That's some genetic engineering there, isn't it?
Well, and until RFK Jr. gets elected, I guess we'll have this GMO food, genetically modified stuff, where we can get the full. After him, I guess it's back to grinding coffee beans. So, hey, I got an update on a story. Can you hit me some Critter Chronicles? Are you done with yours?
I'm finished.
Yeah, hit me some Critter Chronicles.
Oh,
man. You got it potted down.
Patrick's gone.
You got to turn that thing back up.
Rocky.
Well, I've had, really no one ask me about this, but I saw an article from 5 days ago that I needed to bring up because this is something I've reported on at least twice over the years that we've been doing this podcast, But Drew, I'm proud to tell you that the last 4 escaped monkeys in South Carolina have been captured after months on the loose.
Oh, good.
They have finally reined in the last 4 rhesus macaque monkeys, after they have been out since November. So since November, they have been living multiple months in the woods. They have survived a rare snowstorm that put 2 to 3 inches of snow on the ground.
They're not used to cold weather.
And like your typical, small child, they caught them with food. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Lured them in.
But they are all back in their locked enclosure at the Alpha Genesis facility. We are hoping that they have not, had children. Spread.
Yeah, we already have a python problem in this country.
Yeah, we don't need a monkey problem, but
and a feral hog problem.
After monkeys, let's see, we're in January, so 3-4 months.
It's pretty much February now.
Yeah, they have finally been returned home. It is safe.
So, to your knowledge, none of these monkeys died.
43 out, all back home.
That's amazing.
And I'm disappointed in you folks, especially you hunters in South Carolina. You should have
Can't
had
believe it.
you had your chance to have a monkey on the wall. Now I don't know what taxidermist was going to fix it for you, but we all know there's that guy out there he'll stuff anything, and y'all missed an opportunity to have a monkey on the mantle. I'm just saying the rhesus macaque would have looked really good, like hanging off a light fixture in your den, maybe. But you've missed your chance. They're all back in the facility, which should make them easier to find and target. But
it's really quite amazing in that part of the world that nobody shot a monkey.
We have brought that saga to an end. Now, if that had happened in Alabama, there might have been 5 found. That's it.
No question about it.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
One of the local restaurants would have been serving like monkey-filled quesadillas, or we would have had monkey burgers.
Recreating that scene from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Oh, the monkey brain stew.
monkey brain.
No, I just saw that story and I thought I have got to bring that up because that is
Yeah, we
quite a
have
good
to
one.
keep our listeners updated
well, I
on
don't
things
want
like
them
that.
to feel ignorant and not know about what's going on. I want to jump into some food news update as well.
Right.
if
If you were a
don't
hot
mind.
dog,
I'm just
you
gonna
were
keep going. I'm
starving,
on
would
a
you
roll,
eat
baby.
yourself?
All right, so this was a story that I saw first on Not the Bee, which is a non-satirical news site that finds some stories.
Sponsored by Babylon Bee.
Yeah, that should be, you read the article title and you think, this doesn't make sense. This should be, a false story or a
Parody.
satirical article. But this one is not. So I'm going to read it from the Daily Mail, which is a UK news thing. And I just think it's fun to read from theirs because they say words
So it's not the
differently.
Bee via the Daily
well,
Mail.
there's a lot of articles. So Not the Bee gives you kind of a stripped down summary. And I like to go back and find like
Oh.
sourced articles.
Okay.
So
a little more
like
detail.
I like
in
to
the
try to
Daily
go
Mail.
back into the articles and see because they add some humor, into Not the Bee as well. But an elementary school student has reportedly been left permanently blind, which is not funny, folks, because their fussy eating left them so void of nutrients. The 8-year-old boy from Malaysia is said to have eaten nothing but chicken nuggets, sausages, and cookies since they were an infant. The youngster was extremely deficient in a vitamin essential for keeping the eye healthy, according to a doctor who revealed the case. His terrifying ordeal began during a second grade class in the capital city of Kuala Lumpur when he shouted, "Teacher, why can't I see anything?" Why he would wait till he was in a class to say that, I don't know. It seems like if he got to school,
Well, that's when the blindness struck him.
maybe that's when it hit. I don't think it happens that way, but maybe it does. He was then rushed to the hospital and diagnosed with a severe vitamin A deficiency, a condition that affects 1% of Americans to a lesser extent. Vitamin A is a very important component of the chemical stuff that goes on in the eye that helps you see.
It's in carrots. Eat your carrots.
It's kind of a boring discussion, so we won't go necessarily into that. But this is a warning. And Taylor, not you. Sam Pullum, if you're listening to this, it's time to put down the Tyson Dino Nuggets.
Uh-oh.
Because this is proof that your diet may cause you to go blind. So I want to read you a couple of stats that I found on vitamin A deficiencies. Okay.
We're getting serious here.
So vitamin A is found in many foods like leafy green vegetables. I don't eat those. Orange vegetables, carrots, sweet potatoes, pumpkin. I definitely eat all those.
Mm-hmm.
Eggs and cantaloupes. I don't eat cantaloupes. They're gross. Vitamin A plays an important role in your vision. Blah, 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 blah. Let me get to the stats here. Vitamin A deficiency is the leading cause of preventable blindness in children worldwide. An estimated 250,000 to 500,000 children become blind every year because of vitamin A deficiency. And then there's some really sad statistics after that, which I'm not going to go into because I don't want to bring us down. But
Wow.
So this is seen mostly in developing countries where diet nutrition is not
Where they
not
just don't
attainable.
even
They
have
don't have it.
access to the food.
But this case in Malaysia is a child who was allowed to eat chicken nuggets, sausages, and cookies from infancy to 8 years old and is now permanently visually impaired by this. And the question is this the kid's fault or the parents' fault? And the answer is, it's definitely the parents' fault. You got, we all have these
You got to put your
kids.
foot down.
Look, I don't like broccoli. I don't like spinach. I don't like turnip greens. Basically, if it's green and not a green bean, there's a chance I probably am not going to eat it.
Mm-hmm.
But I've tried them all. And if forced to, I would eat them.
Yeah.
And I can also take a multivitamin to get my vitamin A.
Yeah.
But to only live off of chicken nuggets,
That's
sausages, and cookies. Now,
That's
could
all
do it.
highly, highly processed food.
I could do it. Don't get me wrong. I could probably live off of those things for a short time. I'd weigh 500 pounds, which is not a far cry from where I am right now. But
Come on. So now what I'm hearing is we can add to the starving children in China argument. Parents, you can now say, in addition to finish your food, there are starving kids in China that would love to have that. You can also say, and if you don't, you'll go blind.
which is terrifying, really. 8 years old, rest of his life, not seeing. It's not reversible.
So I was going to ask, it's permanent.
Permanent. It's the number one cause of preventable blindness in children.
And you could have prevented it.
By not eating chicken nuggets. So Sam Pullum, tonight when you get home and you get out your little paper plate and your bag of Tyson dinosaur shake nuggets.
That's his nightly routine, though. I mean, during the day, I'm sure the kid eats
at his age, almost
piece of fruit or something.
See, he'll turn, what does he turn this year? I think 17
Lettuce
this
on
year.
a hamburger, something.
He, at his age, he can survive that right now. But if he's still eating
This
that
kid was
diet,
8.
if he's still eating that diet when he's 45, he's going to be needing some suspenders. Yeah, he's going to start looking like his dad, and that would not be a good thing. So, kids, if you like a lot of chicken nuggets, and I know most of you like those processed, gross chicken nuggets, watch out. They can get you.
You'll go blind.
Yeah. Anyway, that was my food news.
All right, so I really should save this for when Tim's here, but we can follow up on it. We have to talk about something. So I had prepared to talk about this tonight with Tim, and the reason I wanted Tim here is because for a short time he was in charge of our church sign.
In fact, I think he burned his fingerprints off.
Yes, we had this marquee sign out in the churchyard that caught the afternoon sun and the morning sun.
Yeah, both sides.
Because you had to change both sides of it,
right.
and it was all warped from the heat. And if you weren't wearing gloves or you hit it at the wrong time of the day, you could microwave your fingertips off, and Tim would do that.
There was also the plastic covering would not stay up. So
Right.
it could fall
Heavy,
it could fall and concuss you at any time.
We had this flimsy stick that we would prop that up on and then put our head underneath it and change the
and
letters.
You just hope the wind did not catch the stick. And
It was awful.
red wasps. You remember they would build up inside that
Terrible.
thing. And then once our poor friend Tim disappeared in a sinkhole, walking out to the sign, one leg, whoop, gone all the way to the ground.
All the way to
Somebody
the
stopped
hip.
and checked on him.
Yeah, somebody on the highway
Yeah.
pulled over because he was struggling to get out of that sinkhole.
Just
in
one
the
leg, though. So Tim kind of had to do the splits.
The things that man has done for our church, and people don't even know.
Yeah.
But what I found here, and this was sent by one of our gracious listeners,
Our passenger.
one of our passengers. These are unintentionally hilarious church signs.
All right. I haven't seen these, so I'm ready.
You know, another problem we had, we finally went to a sign that you don't have a marquee to change, you don't have a message board, nothing, because people volunteer for these messages and they don't always do a good job with the message. We've had some embarrassing messages on our sign.
You never know what might pop up there.
There have been some days where I've pulled up on a Monday and went straight to the box of letters and went back out and changed the sign, but it was already too late because thousands of people had seen it driving by. So here's the first one.
I've heard you rant about that on multiple occasions.
Yeah. I'll say that I really wish Tim were here for this, but here's one. We love hurting people.
It's missing a comma, right? We love, no?
No,
we love.
they're saying we love people who are hurting,
but not hurting.
but it sounds like we love to hurt people. The way they put it,
it does. We love
we
hurting
love
people.
hurting people.
Yikes!
Get what you meant, but not quite the right wording. Here's one: hanging of the Green family.
What does that even mean?
I'm not even sure what that means. Hanging of the Green family.
I don't even know what that means. You can't even make sense of that.
Hanging. Okay, here's another one. God holds each accountable for sin and will punish Pastor Larry Wilhite. So I think this is one of those where he's advertising
He's
his
getting
sermon
sermon
and he
name.
ran out of room and he wanted his name at the bottom.
Yeah.
The
But
message is God holds each accountable for sin and will punish. The
And then
pastor is Larry Wilhite, but it reads, God holds each accountable for sin and will punish Pastor Larry.
Well, what happened is he forgot to put that little tick mark that goes by, like when you attribute a quote, it's got the little
Yeah, a little
hyphen
dash.
right before you. Oops. I like that one.
Okay. Here's the next one. Best sausage supper in St. Louis. Come and eat, Pastor Thomas Wrestler.
Next one. Just go to the next one.
I'm just moving
There's
on.
nothing good that
That
can
may
be
be the last one. I don't know.
There can't be anything.
This is like
good
a
there.
video that I'm. Oh, here we go. What will we never do? Pray for Doug.
Oh, that's
Poor Doug.
Why would they
So it's
never do
like-
that? What would we never do?
I think there's two lines
So that's
here, and
the
they
sermon
were
title.
trying to put
And then what we would never do,
and then
and then they're like
secondly,
pray for
also
Doug.
pray for Doug. But what it reads is, what will we never do? Question mark.
Poor
Pray
Doug.
for Doug.
Poor Doug.
Question asked and answered.
Poor Doug. Doug, wherever you are, I hope they prayed for you at some point.
Oh man, I think that's the last one. We may have to do this again.
Oh.
I'm sure there are more examples of bad church
Oh, no,
signs.
I'm fighting the urge to get on Google right now and look for
Well,
more.
we'll save them for
Yeah,
when Tim's
we
here
need
because
Tim
we
here.
need to go back over his
I
history.
wish
with the
I could
church sign.
remember some of the better ones that were put up on ours. Some
It's
of
too
ours
soon.
were
Too soon.
Yeah, some of ours were just a little too direct, perhaps.
Well, and then there are the ones that have been overdone.
oh yeah, there's definitely those.
CH-CH. What's missing? You are. And
Oh,
we had that up one time.
That's
and I've
bad.
seen that a lot.
that's a bad one.
There's a lot of those.
That is the digital age has spared us a lot of that because you don't see those old marquees. Except for Chick-fil-A. You notice they still use that type of a marquee thing.
There's
up
several
there.
fast food places that still do it.
Why don't they go digital sign, I wonder?
They're expensive and they are unreliable. They
That's
break.
true. That's true. Well, and most of
There-
these places, except
There may
for
be
Chick-fil-A,
sign ordinances against them
That's
also.
true. Well, and I mean, Wendy's can't even have cheese there half the time. So trying to get somebody to change out a digital sign probably wouldn't go well.
I know there are people that are going to disagree with me on this. I hear people say that sign is a great ministry opportunity. I have never been moved, inspired, changed by a church sign.
You know, I don't think I've ever made a decision about anywhere I'm going by the way their sign looked. And I don't just mean church. Like if I'm driving down the road, I don't go, ooh, look at that sign. I'm going to go in that grocery store and see what's going on.
Well, I think it is a part of the look. I'm not speaking to the way the sign looks. I think that is important.
I don't know.
But I'm talking about, putting a message up.
yeah.
And how much can you read when you're driving 45 miles an hour down the road or faster?
Well, when I'm putting on my mascara and eating my breakfast driving to work, I mean, I can't pay attention to things like that.
And
For the-
texting.
For the record, I've never worn mascara nor
Yet.
guy liner
Yet.
But who knows? I kind of miss those. I will admit when I travel, like I drove from here to Philadelphia, Mississippi, the city of brotherly love this last
Yes.
weekend. I do look when I see old church signs that have marquees. I do look for funny things.
Yeah, there's some
I try to
funny.
pay
Some
attention
people are
to-
really good with it.
Yeah, some of the fast food restaurants kind of go back and forth on their signs against each other
Yeah.
sometimes, and that's pretty humorous too. But
Huh.
seems like a lot of work to change those things out, especially for poor Tim. I mean, the poor guy's fingers were already kind of short, and he's missing his distal phalanges now on all his fingers from that sign. So, I don't know.
Do you have a conspiracy theory?
I really
'Cause-
don't tonight. But
Well,
I would like to tell you that one of my
Update.
conspiracy theories has been proven true, and Mr. Patrick Birch has been proven wrong. So if you want to hit the conspiracy theory. Oh, we've changed things up. I like it. The X-Files.
yeah.
Putting on my hat.
Okay, you get tinfoil hat on.
I've got it on, yeah.
Turn this down.
I
Okay.
want to pull up. Give me a minute to do a little bit of search here.
Well, this is going to be an update on the drones, correct?
It is, yeah.
And I'll fill while you're looking it up. I'll fill everybody in on where we're at today. So Jason came in for our conspiracy theory segment and was all up in arms about the drones. Most of our listeners are familiar with mostly in New Jersey, but in other places in the United States, especially in the Northeast, people were seeing these large drones in the sky, some of them the size of a car. And there's video evidence of this.
They're aliens.
And
So I
Jason
thought.
was convinced it was alien technology. And these drones were doing things that normal drones don't do.
And Patrick, for the record, said that they were just regular aircraft. And
Yes.
Patrick, if you were here tonight,
He dismissed your theories.
he shot down my
outright.
conspiracy theory.
He did not even, I didn't see him even try to think about what you were saying.
No.
It was just an immediate dismissal.
Just
They're
said,
airplanes.
They're planes.
Well,
Well,
we have an update.
early on in his press conference, I think it may have been the day of
The very-
inauguration or the day after.
No,
he's
this was his
signing-
press secretary.
No, but
Caroline
I'm talking
Leavitt.
about when somebody said, "Hey, can you give us an update on the
Oh,
drones?"
okay. I'm sorry.
And he looks to his chief of staff and was like, "Let's do something about that immediately." So today, the press secretary, Carolyn, is it
Leavitt, I
Leavitt,
think.
maybe, shared an update.
She's like 3
directly-
years old.
Well, I think we're getting old, and I mean, I know you're getting old. You had a milestone.
Yeah.
But shared an update directly, in quotes, from President Donald Trump that clarified the origin of the drones, which has caused a national stir. After research and study, the drones that were flying over New Jersey, and this is quoted, in large numbers were authorized by the FAA for research and various other reasons. She goes on to say this was not the enemy, and the FBI Newark, New Jersey State Police, New Jersey Office of Homeland Security and Preparedness are asking for the public. Oh, no, this is going back to old stuff. But basically, what they said was these were drones. They were doing research and various other things and not enemies. Now, the conspiracy, Drew, which is still here, what kind of research? What are they looking for? What are they
I
researching?
heard the statement.
Yeah.
It was very brief.
Very
it was more
vague.
than we were getting from the previous administration. But it gave me the impression that they weren't sure what was going on.
Various other things is pretty broad.
Surely they know, though. And I'm sorry for calling you Shirley, but
Don't call me Shirley.
they know, I guess, and maybe we just don't need to know.
Do they? I think they're still covering up the alien technology.
Or it's technology we got from the aliens. And
I
are
will
they
tell you-
aliens?
I will tell you what it's not, Patrick Birch. Airplanes.
I that has been proven.
I would drop the mic, but the mics are hot, and I don't want to make a bunch of noise in here. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
And they're
It's nice to
attached
be vindicated.
arms. You can't really.
I couldn't really.
You'd
drop
have to
them.
really pitch a fit to throw one of these microphones down to the ground.
Yeah, I'd have to turn the table over, and I'm tired. It's not happening tonight.
Yeah.
But I
Well-
thank you for bringing that up because I needed to, to have a friend of mine eat a little crow, and he's
Well,
not here to eat the crow.
And I wanted to
tonight.
play the X Files.
I like it. That's going to be the new. So we had the little discussion about on our last podcast about the song for conspiracy theories, and I just randomly picked one. Drew, as would be expected, has come up with a better idea.
Well-
and the X Files was all about weird conspiracy. I
that's
mean,
kinda
that
the
takes
vibe.
us into the weird. I mean, it's not just
Gets our mind,
conspiracies, but
minds
weird stuff.
in the right place,
Yeah.
puts us in the right frame of
Yeah.
mind.
I
That's
mean-
what it's all about.
I mean,
That's what we're
if
trying
we
to
can
do
pull
here.
out the Law and Order boom boom during it at any point, that will just make things that much better. Because, like, I could say the conspiracy is this, and it goes, "Oh, that's the noise. That's the one." Oh,
so
that's
so
gotta
we
have to go on
start with the
soundboard.
X-Files,
Yeah,
and then when you
Any-
hit the theory,
yeah,
we give it a good.
yeah. A definitive statement.
Yes.
Then it plays that.
I like it.
Oh, I think it's awesome.
I like it.
Guys, you are listening to production live on air. This is how the magic happens. That was perfect timing.
I might just hit that the rest of the evening.
From time to time.
Now
Yeah.
everybody's turning the
They're
turning
like,
the podcast
they're
off.
like,
Yep,
I'm done. This is garbage.
Wait till next week when Tim and Patrick get back. Hey, we get put in this position a lot, you and I.
You
And
know,
I guess normal people would say, let's take the night off.
I enjoy this too much to take the night off, though. This is fun for me.
How about we take a quick break and then do that? Let's see.
Even when I change, I feel the same. When I rearrange, I feel the same. Don't wanna be gone, I don't wanna be gone, I don't wanna be
All right, it's time for Bad Preachers.
Put your hand on that television set.
And you wouldn't go about establishing your own kingdom in the video room.
Isn't that something called a moshoko do mazata? Matato motondo tikishakala kapoto.
Could it be Satan?
All right, folks. Coming to you live from the Asheville Road studio. We're not really live. You'll hear this tomorrow
Or
afternoon.
6 years from now.
Whenever you log in to listen to it. We hope you listen to it, though. So I've got us a Bad Preacher clip. And, the first time I heard this, I thought, well, maybe this is from, I don't know, 1980, 1990. No, this is a year and a half ago or so, 2023.
1980, more like 1880.
It definitely goes back. Galileo would disagree with some of these things. So this preacher is on a little bit of a rant about what I would call science. And I'll just let you hear it. It's kind of a longer clip, but we've got time tonight since it's just the two of us. So we'll pause it and give a little commentary as we go. But y'all listen to this.
And that means that there's no outer space. There is no outer space. There are no galaxies.
All right, Drew, I'm going to pause there.
What is he? We may find out what he means, but what does he mean by no outer space?
So
Does he think there's a ceiling?
I really
and
don't
then
know.
Heaven?
I mean, isn't there a spacious firmament? And I don't think that's just talking about our sky, right? I mean, our sky is part of the
firmament separated the water from the water.
atmosphere.
So I'm
Maybe-
picturing the firmament as the expanse
Yes.
between the oceans
Yeah.
and the clouds.
Okay.
But you
Ma-
gotta
already-
imagine something above the cloud. I can't even. Maybe he'll explain.
I already believe him. There's no outer space.
No outer space.
Galaxies billions and trillions of light years away. There are none. Okay, if there were, and a vacuum of space, light does not affect the vacuum of space, then the entire night sky would be lit up as bright as day from all.
Drew, you're our resident scholar on grammar.
Litten
Is litten a word?
would be litten up.
I don't-
Well, you should use the active
Well, wouldn't
verbs
that be
anytime you
littening?
can.
Littening
Would
it
be
up?
litten up. He's already making
Yeah.
a mistake by using the passive.
Yeah.
But
that's
you should say the stars would light up the sky. Now, to
but
address
is
litten,
litten past
litten
tense?
is unfortunately litten is not a word.
Oh, okay.
It's certainly not a word that means to be lit up.
Okay. Even
Which
though
may have been what he meant.
maybe our millennials and our Gen Zers are going to start using the word litten. Maybe
Well, I've heard some 2-year-olds use language
Litten.
like that,
Yeah,
similar to that.
litten. Anyway,
Well, don't hit it yet. I believe that his whole premise, I think we heard
Mhm.
the premise, is that light cannot shine in a vacuum. Did you hear him say that?
I did hear
so
that.
I think he's basing all of his disbelief in galaxies, stars, and galaxy,
Well, I want to.
which we see
Yeah.
when we look into the sky.
Oh, he's
He's
gonna
basing his whole theory on
he's gonna address that. I think.
that there's no light
Yeah.
in a vacuum,
Well-
and outer space is a vacuum.
Yeah. Once I accidentally sucked my flashlight up inside my shop vac, and it was still shining when I opened the top of the shop
There
vac.
you go.
So that was light in a vacuum,
In a literal vacuum.
and it worked. I mean, all
Yeah.
right, I'm gonna
Okay. I think you've disproven it.
Lytton.
All of the stars from billions of light years away shining in on the earth all at one time. That's what we would say if we believe NASA. NASA is lying. It's lying, okay? The word NASA in Hebrew means to deceive. And
Drew, you are our Greek Hebrew scholar around
I'm not
here.
a Hebrew scholar.
Do you
but-
have a lexicon on your phone, though? I'm sure. Can you look up NASA in the Hebrew?
Well,
Can you tell me what that means? NASA
I can't
in
because
Hebrew.
I'm not sure it is. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what deceive is in Hebrew, but even if it is NASA, I believe our NASA are the English letters NASA, which stand for National Aeronautics and Space Administration.
Well, maybe that's the Hebrew word. It's all those letters, National Aeronautics Space Administration. That's the Hebrew word.
And if I were going to try to deceive
Perhaps.
somebody, would I name myself to deceive?
Well,
would I do that? Would it?
biblical names
Hey,
carried
it's in
meaning.
Hebrew. They won't know.
They'll never guess this.
Let's go ahead and put this little Easter egg in our name. NASA, the Hebrew word for deceive.
And the Hebrew
And then
word.
we'll lie to them. And here's the lie. We're going to tell them they're galaxies. We're going to tell them they're stars when there aren't really, even though you can see them, they're not really there.
Yeah, not there. And we got to continue.
That litten up the sky.
Well, they're littening up. Litten. Yeah, litten. I don't even know how to use it inappropriately.
And that's, to me, that's not a coincidence at all.
Coincidence?
That means
I
the
think
sun
not.
is a light and the moon is a light. The moon is a light source. It doesn't reflect light. God says it is a light.
Uh-oh.
And that means
Okay.
Mm.
So you can't be a light if you reflect light.
You can't be a light source if you reflect light.
But the Bible says it's a light.
It is a light.
It doesn't say light source.
I don't know.
How about this one?
How about everything?
Day one.
Yeah.
God, again, we need Tim.
God
the
made
VBS.
lights when there was none.
God made light when there was none. Day two, you talked
Ocean,
about the
skies
firmament.
of blue. Yeah.
Firmament. Day three, dry land and vegetation.
Yeah.
We don't get to the sun, moon, and stars till day 4.
Yeah.
So
and there was light
are they
before
source?
sun, moon, and stars. Yeah. That's a good question.
Now, here's my theory on that. First of all, I mean, we can't understand how God made the world.
Yeah.
We can stop trying.
Yep.
And this is way off topic, but I love this idea.
That's great.
So light, could that be just the entire electromagnetic spectrum of energy?
Yeah.
So you have matter there in that waterless void,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have energy, and you've got everything.
Yeah. You have
So-
everything you need.
Rather than being, and you had vegetation on day 3. I think plants could survive 24 hours of darkness, but it also said day and night was the first day. But the sun, moon, and stars, they didn't come along until day 4.
Yeah.
So
It
maybe
starts-
God is the source of light.
I think it starts to break down just a little bit. Just a little bit. What's interesting is everything we can see in this room is because light is either being reflected or absorbed, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
what makes you see. So like your forehead right now is reflecting the
okay.
light off of the,
That's enough.
technically that's a light source. But if it didn't reflect the light, I wouldn't see anything. It would just be dark. Or if you
That's
had
right.
hair covering it, it wouldn't be as much of a light. I digress. Let's get
Yes,
back into
you are
this
digressing.
before you hit me.
Let's get back on track.
All right, here we go.
that means you cannot land on the moon. You can't land on light. Land on some light around here. You just land on it. You can't do it.
Well,
Moon landing, not real.
but and his again
Can't
his
land on
premise-
light because
Can't
it's
land,
a light
land
source.
on some light around here.
Yeah.
Was he pointing to a light bulb or something?
Well, I've been in restaurants before that have lights in the floor, and I stood on them. So technically, I was landing on a light. I'm just saying.
It is amazing though
Yeah.
when you look at the moon to think that that's reflecting, because it's so white, and a full moon at certain times of the year is very bright. It'll light
Yeah.
up my whole backyard. And it's amazing to think about that. But when you see of course, he doesn't buy this, but
Yeah.
when you see the Earth from space,
Mhm.
it's
Pretty bright.
kind of reflecting light too, in different colors, because it's
Yeah,
not just a
filtering
stark
light, yeah.
wasteland like the moon is.
And how about, so what's the moon when you see it out during the day? You know how you can see the moon up there in the sky sometimes middle
yeah.
of the day? It's still reflecting some light, or you wouldn't see it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know.
his sticking point is it's not reflecting light.
It is
It's-
light.
It's the source of light in the same way the sun is. Therefore, nobody could have landed on the moon because they would have burnt to a crisp, just as we can't land on the sun.
So he's
And this is
saying
his sermon
NASA, the
for Sunday.
deceiver.
Let's not forget this is a Sunday
He's-
worship service.
He's in the pulpit with the flower display and everything.
and
going
people
on.
it only shows him, but we assume there's somebody out there listening to this
You know,
stuff.
I do wish every now and again on these clips the camera would pan the audience so we could see
Yeah.
facial expressions. All right, we're about halfway through. Hang on, folks. It gets crazier.
I think it was Tesla who said it was like a plasma.
Talking about the sun.
It cannot be landed on. Anyway, I believe that's what he said. But anyway, I'll show you more about that in just a minute. But this would be a good representation of the firmament right here, okay? And the sun, moon, and the stars inside of the firmament. Now,
Oh, he's got a
when
PowerPoint,
God
Drew,
says
if you could see
cannot
it.
measure the length, the breadth, you cannot measure the earth, you cannot measure the sky, it cannot be measured. I believe that can't prove this right here because nobody's allowed to go over the ice wall. Nobody's allowed to penetrate it. Admiral Byrd did, and he said, I went far enough in where I saw other land. That's what Admiral Byrd said.
Oh, he's a flat earther, isn't he?
Flat Earth is what this one's going to. That's what it sounds like.
So
Ice
flat
wall
earthers believe the ice wall
surrounds the Earth, right?
Okay, yeah,
don't know.
I've seen pictures.
Yeah.
Um,
He
So they
lost me
believe the
at-
Earth is like a disc,
Okay. Yeah, that's
right?
That would be the picture he has up right now. Yeah.
And then every time you get to the edge, you run into an ice wall, and that's what we perceive as the poles. They're saying you're getting to the edge there, and he's God put an ice wall around it. He's a flat earther.
Oh. It's like that song we sung tonight, God put a rainbow in the sky, except for he's singing God put an ice wall in the sky, basically.
Not in the sky,
Well,
but around.
I mean, if you're running into it, it's got to be pretty tall. I mean, it's not like a ice fence.
yes.
Yeah.
You've seen these, right?
Oh, yeah, I have. Yeah. That one on the top left is what he's got up on his PowerPoint right now. Very
Oh, he just
similar
pulled
to
that
it.
off
It's
off the Flat Earth
It is
website.
Very, very similar to that right there. I mean, almost identical. So, anyway,
All right, let him keep going. This is
this is the craziest one. I
you
mean,
never
it's-
know what this dude
this
is
is
going
the
to say
most
next.
bizarre one we've had yet.
Said, okay, way out there, okay? And so this is kind of exaggerated just a little bit to give you an idea that the ice wall is kind of like that. And then you get up and over the ice wall, there's a whole lot more earth. That's why no matter how
I need to pause this for a second. Drew, you can't see this, but I'm watching him speak and the PowerPoint up. Somebody get this man a monitor in the back of that auditorium because he keeps having to turn away from the microphone to look up and point.
Yeah, I'm hearing that.
And that's, guys, if you have a PowerPoint presentation, have a monitor in the back of the room because when you turn around, even if you have a lapel mic on, the sound is just, the quality is just not good. That's a,
I don't understand
Small
the
pet peeve of
land
mine.
behind the ice wall. More land. How that lends itself to flat Earth. That seems like a globe. Okay, I've crossed over the pole. Now I'm seeing land again. I must have traveled around the top of the earth and come back around again. Because these diagrams I'm looking at here of the flat earth, you've just got the disc and all the whole perimeter. I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? The perimeter all the way around it.
The margin,
is the ice wall.
Borders, yeah.
And on the other, if you get over the ice wall, you fall off the edge of the earth.
But what do
in
you
these
fall into?
pictures.
Because he said there's not outer space.
Well, maybe he'll tell us.
If you break through the ice wall, where do you go?
I don't know.
There's no outer space. You fall into the loony bin.
How high you go in an airplane, how high you go in a weather balloon. You go 1,000 feet, 10,000 feet. The horizon always rises with you to eye level, always does. You look out straight and you see the horizon at a distance because it cannot be measured, as the scriptures say.
What?
Has this guy ever been in an airplane? Because I have, and I'm telling you, the horizon, like if you're, he said 1,000 feet, 10,000 feet, commercial airliner, 30 to 35,000 feet cruising altitude. You see the sky in front of you, and you have to look way down low.
I know.
To find land.
I've never had that experience in a plane that the horizon stays. Is he trying to say it looks flat?
I guess so, but to
Because
me, it
I've
looks
seen
curved.
the curve. I've seen the
I've
curve
seen-
of the Earth from a plane.
I would like to say you and I, we're not like world travelers, but we're fairly well traveled in our lives. We've flown, we've been distant places away
Been a
from
few
home.
places, yeah.
This makes no sense. All right, I gotta he's almost done, folks. I know this is a lot to
The people are loving this.
yeah. All right, here we go.
And that means that there's no outer space. There is no outer space. There are no galaxies,
we're done.
billions and trillions of light.
Hey, that's where we just
started back over again?
Yeah.
So his point is there's no outer space because it would be lit up because
light cannot
light
move through a
can't move.
vacuum.
It'll be lit up because light can't shine in a vacuum.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that argument.
Mhm.
And that the earth is flat.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what the Bible teaches, he believes.
So
That's why he's
says.
so hot under the collar about this.
Uh-huh.
You know, for me, it's pretty simple. I'm amazed that people ever thought the earth was flat. I mean, I get that when you're walking on it, you're not thinking of yourself on a sphere.
Yeah.
But when you look up at the other heavenly bodies, you see the sun's round, the moon is round,
But
the
Drew,
stars are round.
You're seeing them. You're not seeing them from the edge. It would be like if I had a coin
they're
and
a
I'm holding up
disc,
a coin
yeah.
like this to you. I mean,
That's the.
I mean, come on, Drew.
But the
Open your
moon, you
mind.
can see that the moon is a globe.
I
and
mean,
the phases of the moon.
to me, you know, that whole like waxing and waning gibbons when there's an arch or an arc on the moon,
Yeah.
that crescent shape or that what I like to refer to as the M&M shape. That kind of to me says that's a pretty rounded spherical thing.
I thought a gibbons was like a guitar player for ZZ Top or a monkey. But you're using it
Yeah.
in connection with a moon.
Well, waxing and waning gibbons, everyone knows that. There's the crescent and the gibbons.
Billy Gibbons doesn't look like he's waxed ever.
Hang on, I'm looking
That's
up.
a hairy guy.
I'm looking up NASA in Hebrew. I'm just doing a.
Oh.
I'm looking at Strong's Hebrew for the word NASA. So Strong's Hebrew word 5,265, I guess is what that means. NASA is to pull out or up, set out, or journey. To
Well-
lift, carry, or take. Perhaps to be high or conspicuous.
That must be the meaning he was leaning on.
Maybe he was high, but he was not
He was
conspicuous in
NASA.
his theories. But high and conspicuous is not deceitful.
Oh, yeah. Conspicuous is out in the open.
yeah, that's not. Yeah, an uprising, utterance, burden, or portion. But no, that's not NASA. That's Masseth, which is not NASA. Yeah.
Well,
Everything I see with NASA, I see nothing about deceit. And
I'm not
this is
surprised
Strong's
that he
that I'm
was
looking it up
wrong.
in. No.
Are you?
No. Next thing he's going to say is that there aren't aliens. And that's going to be a problem. I mean,
That's
'cause
heresy, right?
to me it is.
Yeah. I don't believe in aliens. I'm not convinced.
I really don't either. I just like bringing them up as a funny topic. Yeah. I found that when you're in Peru and you're at the great ruins there and like Machu Picchu, and you can really stir up, like anger the tour guide if you say, now the aliens built this, right? They don't find that as a funny joke. And I go back to it pretty regularly.
That sounds like a good idea. Anger your tour guide. We're back. It's the portion of our podcast where we go over a quotation and talk about its meaning for our lives. We get a lot of wisdom from this. It benefits us personally. Today's passage is something I really need to hear, I think, and I'll tell my sob story after you read the quote for us.
Oh, you want me to read the quote?
Well, yeah.
Okay. So this is by the author. He actually wrote the book Knuffle Bunny, which is how I would pronounce it until I met the Kanosts. And it may be Knuffle Bunny. I'm really not sure. But the
children's book
author Mo Willems, and this is what it says. If you ever find yourself in the wrong story, leave. I'll read it again. If you ever find yourself in the wrong story, leave. I like it. It's simple. It's direct. I want to hear your sob story.
Well, it's not a sob story. I'm not good at this. I'm about to hit my 25-year anniversary here at the Asheville Road Church of Christ. And that is because this is a great church and patient people, and I love it here. But I can't think of leaving here. And I've never been interested in shaking things up and moving. I will stay with something that's not working just because I feel like I shouldn't quit. And I've justified it when I was young, saying I'm not a quitter. I'm not going to be a quitter. And when I was in high school, senior in high school, I felt like I was good at baseball. Maybe I wasn't, but I'd been playing baseball my whole life. I mean, not just when the city league was playing, but with my brothers and my neighbors all summer long, playing baseball all the time. And I wasn't going to play college or anything, but I could play for my high school team in Howell, Texas. But the coach didn't like me for some reason, didn't think I had the stuff, and I sat on the bench the whole season. I mean, through every game, just sat on the bench, and he made me go get water. It was humiliating. And I look back on that, and I wish I had quit and used that time for something more valuable instead of just letting that eat away at me and being the good little soldier who doesn't quit. That was a wrong story. Now, that's a small example, but I think that kind of illustrates my personality. I don't want to say that I get complacent, but maybe that is what's going on. But I'll stay in a toxic situation or a bad situation or a wrong fit. I'll stay there too long.
So, number one, I'm glad that you're that way, because if you were to pack up and leave, Tim and I would have to pack up, and Patrick, and we would have to move to wherever you move. And I'm not at a point in life where I could, just stop everything going on to do that. It would be a long commute back and forth to the office, but I would make that drive every day, listening to our podcast and
of course you have plenty
other
keep you occupied in the car.
Yeah, depending on where it could be a long drive. But I will say this: I'm the type person, and I need to listen to this quote sometimes. I'm the type person that strives for acceptance. I don't want to rock the boat. I want people to like me. I want to fit in. Basically, I'm kind of insecure and I don't want to upset people. I need everybody to like me. And because of that, there are a lot of things in life that I think, like your baseball story, that I stuck out telling myself it was because I was stubborn or I was going to show that person that they couldn't run me off. When some of it was, I was scared to leave. I was
Yeah.
insecure. I was afraid that I would hurt people or hurt people's feelings or people would think bad about me. I'm a people pleaser. And I will tell you, that is, if you are not a people pleaser, be thankful for that. It is a character defect because a lot of times people pleasers, we stay in situations or we do things for the hope of keeping everyone around us happy.
And
But-
we may not even be doing that.
But a lot of times at our own expense, at our own, and I'm
Yeah.
not saying you've done that here.
Oh,
I'm not saying that at all.
Not at church, but
But-
I relate to all that
Yeah.
you're saying. I
I've
think I'm a
stayed in
people
things.
pleaser too.
I've
yeah.
stayed in things and done things a lot longer than I should sometimes, simply because I was afraid to be seen as the bad guy or that I might disappoint somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes we get into careers, not saying that I have an awful career, but I think sometimes we get into careers and we get so far into it that we're doing it because it's what we've always done. We don't know how to free ourselves from that. And sometimes we hit this burnout point where it's like, man, do I want to spend the next 10 years doing this?
Mm.
And the reason we keep doing it is because in our head, we're trapped. We're
Yeah.
trapped because of people's expectations around us. We're trapped because of how we feel people are going to perceive us or think. And instead of making a decision that might be in our best interest, we continue to ride out this journey we're on.
And it's a
And
fear of the
sometimes-
unknown too.
It is.
It's like, well, this is not great, but at least I know what to expect.
yeah.
Out here, well, who knows? It could be worse. It might be better, but it could be worse. I
Yeah.
don't want to take the risk.
Sometimes
And I think there's a lot of that involved.
Yeah, sometimes what we know is more comfortable than what we don't know.
Even if what we don't know is going to be far better for us.
Yeah, yeah, and I just know my personality type, and I've done a lot of studying on my type of personality. Sometimes we trap ourselves in this world we create or the story we create simply because we're afraid to rock the boat and try something different.
And I have such admiration for people who can take risks and who will make these big changes. It's just the courage it takes to do that is amazing to me. That'll move, across country or make a career change midlife.
Yeah.
Or dive into a project that's really expensive and requires investment and financial risk or, other types of risk. I'm so impressed by people like that because I just don't think I can do that.
I'm impressed by them, and sometimes I'm envious of them because I think people, and let me speak for myself. For me, most of my life and decisions is dictated by some level of fear. A fear of how things are going to happen, about how people are going to respond, about what people may say, think, do, how my reputation is going to be hurt, all of these things. And I envy people that are like, I'm going to look out for what makes me happy. I'm going to try to be fulfilled. This is what I think I need to do it. Let me find out and see. And if it doesn't, I'll do something different. Like that freedom to act that way. And I'm not saying you shouldn't care about what other people think and you shouldn't care about your reputation and the community around you and things like that.
Yeah.
But sometimes our concern over that, we allow that to trump our own happiness.
Mhm.
And
the key is not to go to one extreme or the other.
No.
But to
and maybe I should
use
say
discernment and
Yeah.
know if something's working, if it's
Yeah.
good for you or not.
And maybe I shouldn't say happiness because happiness is a product of the environment you're in. I can eat an ice cream cone and feel happy. I can go and have a breakfast bar, or which is really a Rice Krispie treat, but they're cereal, and I eat them for breakfast. Breakfast bar, and I feel a little bit of happiness. I can read a good book, and I'm happy. There's a difference between that and joy, and I think sometimes we sacrifice joy because we're afraid of
The joy is
leaving
within.
the story. Yeah, that's right. And I don't know
You
that
can take
this
that anywhere
quote-
you go.
Yeah, this quote, I don't know. I liked it. It's a deep quote. It kind of punched me in the chin.
Well, me too. And for people like us, the form of the quote is perfect because instead of going into detail and explaining all the things, he just makes it simple. If you're in the wrong story, here's the solution. One word: leave. And we make excuses and it's hard. It's not that hard. Just leave.
And what's crazy is we think we're not in control of that.
Yeah.
But we really are. And I think that's one of the things that God gives us that, the Bible says we're made in his image. And I think in the Garden of Eden, after they eat the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, Satan tells them, if you eat of this, you'll be like God. After they eat of it, God kicks them out of the garden because he says they've become like us. They have the ability to choose. They have the ability to make decisions, to choose good, to choose evil. I think one of the gifts we have that's a God-given thing is the ability to choose for ourselves what we want to do and to make those decisions. And sometimes we feel so trapped and we're afraid to use that God-given thing that he's given us. And we're in his image, and part of being in his image is he gives us the right to make decisions for our lives. Now, we should make those following his will for us, which is clearly spelled out in Scripture, I think. Sometimes when we get outside of that, we get into a lot of trouble. But it's our ability to choose. He wants us to choose. He gave us that option to have free will to choose. I mean, he didn't create robots that are stuck in a certain way of doing things the same way all the time and, there's nothing I can do about it. No, you can. And like you said,
Which means you can wind up in the wrong story.
yeah, that's right. Mo makes it clear, if you don't like the story you're in, change it. It's cliche, but there's that definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting different results.
Yeah.
I think
That's what he's talking about.
I think in life we do that a lot.
The quote's saying, don't be insane by that definition.
We get we get into these loops that are our lives, and we never step outside of that loop. And it's just this big cycle, ups and downs, stresses, relief, joy, happiness. And sometimes we get into those loops and we just don't ever leave them, even though they're stressing us out and making our hair fall out and turning us gray.
I see the gospel in this quote because sin is not your story. It's not my story. Our story is not sin. So when we start that life of sin, we step into the wrong narrative.
Yep.
And it's not a good place to be in. And there may be times where it feels like the story's going in the right direction, but it's always a tragedy, that story. And Christ opens the door for us to leave that story, flip the script, and be a part of the story that is our story, which is fellowship with God and one another. Christ makes all of that possible. And the gospel is all about getting back into the right story. We're not on the cast of characters in that script the devil wrote.
No.
We're not supposed to be in that play. We're in God's story. We're supposed to be in that one.
You saying that as you were talking about that, I think of a story, a parable in the Bible where a person found himself in the wrong story multiple times and leaves his situation. And that's the prodigal son, right? So he's at home. Obviously, he was like I was when I was 16 or 17. He thought, I'm being oppressed by these people around me. They're making me do things I don't want to do. give me my inheritance and let me go
Yeah.
forth into the world.
So he did he applied this
The wrong way.
quotation when he was in the right story. He left.
But in his head, he was thinking, this is not
he
my
thought
story.
he was doing this. Yeah.
I need to go over here and see what adventure there is to behold. And he goes there, and it sounds like for a while he was living La Vida Loca. I mean, it sounds like he was having a blast. He had friends, he had money. And then the tragedy, like you were saying, like all sinful life is a tragedy.
Yeah.
The tragedy strikes. He's alone. He's in a pigsty, not just feeding pigs, but he's eating the junk he's feeding them.
Mm-hmm.
Gross. And he has this epiphany. Maybe the story I thought was the right story was actually the wrong story, and the story I thought was the wrong story is the right story. And he kind of tucks his tail, humbles himself, and changes his story again.
Mm-hmm.
And he returns home. And it's probably one of my favorite parables because there's the picture of this father not out searching the hills for him, but standing there watching for him on the horizon. Because it says his father sees him from a distance, and he knew who it was, and he runs to him. And what a great example of a guy who changed his story at least 2 times in that story.
Mm-hmm.
And his circumstances forced him to change, but he changed back to the right direction. And when you were talking about the gospel and the freedom Christ gives us to choose our story and to change our story, or to leave that situation of sin and move back, that's exactly what happened there. I mean, he got outside of the Father, realized this wasn't a great idea. Let me just change my story again, and I'll return to the Father. It's a cool thing, and I think it's such a beautiful picture of how we are as humans, from Adam and Eve to whoever's the last one walking the earth. So
yeah. Well, that's a fantastic quote. I'll be chewing on that for a while. We're at the end of our story, tonight's story.
yeah, I'm about to go to sleep.
I'm ready for my bedtime story, and then
Your bowl of ice
lights out.
cream.
Got to go home and get that bowl of ice cream. But I need to mention our sponsors, cobbpublishing.com. Check out the titles there. A lot of great stuff. They specialize, I shouldn't say specialize, they have a lot of titles having to do with the history of the churches of Christ. If that is something you're interested in, there are many reprints and original works that express the history of the Restoration Movement and other things. Also, if you're local to the Leeds area, go to the Borough Bookstore, downtown Leeds. Great place. And you can get a copy of my new book, Sufficient Grace, there. Borough Bookstore. Go downtown. You can't miss it. Great place. We don't have enough bookstores in the world today, so I appreciate the folks out there trying to keep it alive in this digital world.
I like
Everything's
my paper
electronic.
books, Drew. I like my paper books.
Yeah, but you and I will read a Kindle. you
If
know.
I'm traveling, that's
Do
the only
both.
thing I'll take, yeah.
But support your local bookstore. Thank you for joining us. We're expecting to have at least one of our fellows back next week. Just hang on. We got more passages coming.
Follow us on Instagram at passages_podcast. And join us next time on Passages.